It was one of those slow, sleepy Tuesday afternoons at Rosie's Diner, the kind of day where time seemed to stretch just a little longer. The air was filled with that cozy, familiar aroma of freshly brewed coffee, blending perfectly with the soft hum of idle chatter and the rhythmic clink of silverware against ceramic plates. Every little sound seemed to echo softly through the diner, creating a comfort that only a place like Rosie's could offer. Emma had been working here for 5 whole years. 5 years of morning shifts, late-night closings, and everything in between. She knew every regular by name, by their drink orders, even by the little quirks in their morning greetings. She remembered how Mr. Thompson, who never missed a single Tuesday breakfast, liked his eggs cooked just right. Over easy, with a light sprinkle of pepper, not too much, just enough to wake the flavor up. Emma wasn't just a waitress here. No, she was part of the very heart of this place. A warm smile, a listening ear, the kind of person who made strangers feel like old friends and made locals feel like family. But behind that smile, life hadn't been kind lately. Not at all. Emma's mother had been dealing with serious health issues, and the medical bills? They were piling up so fast it felt like she was drowning in paper. Her little brother was stressing over college applications, unsure of his future, and Emma? No matter how many double shifts she took or how many hours she stayed on her feet, it was never enough. The money always ran out before the worry did. Still, every single day, she tied her apron, straightened her name tag, and walked through those diner doors with a smile, because Emma believed something deeply. Kindness doesn't cost a thing, and it could mean everything to someone else. That particular afternoon, the quiet was broken by the soft jingle of the bell above the door. A man stepped inside. He looked older, tired, like life had weathered him down. His coat was frayed at the edges, and his shoes were so worn they barely held together. He shuffled slowly to the counter, eyes cast down like he hoped to blend into the floor unnoticed. But Emma saw him, and, more importantly, she noticed him. "Coffee?" she asked softly, her voice gentle, her smile warm and real. The man nodded, clearly embarrassed as he dug into his old wallet. He pulled out a few worn coins, not nearly enough, not even for the smallest cup. From across the room, the manager, Mr. Carter, watched with narrowed eyes, already judging. "If he can't pay, he can't stay," he muttered coldly. Emma paused, only for a heartbeat, and then, without hesitation, she poured the man a steaming, fresh cup and slid it across the counter. "It's on me," she whispered with a wink. The man's eyes widened, his weathered hands wrapping around the warm mug like it was the first real heat he'd felt in days. "Thank you," he murmured, voice low, barely a breath, but full of meaning. Mr. Carter saw it all, and he was not pleased. His face twisted in frustration, and when the man stood to leave, thanking Emma again with sincere gratitude before disappearing into the cold, Carter stormed over. "You can't just give food away," he snapped harshly. "That's stealing from the diner." Emma stood her ground. Her voice, though soft, didn't waver. "It was just a cup of coffee," she replied. "He needed it." "That's not your decision." Carter barked, furious. "You're fired." The diner fell into complete silence. Cooks peeked from the kitchen door, wide-eyed. A few regulars froze mid-bite, their forks suspended in disbelief. Emma's heart raced, but she didn't break. With calm resolve, she untied her apron, folded it neatly, and laid it gently on the counter. "I hope one day," she said softly, "you'll understand kindness is worth more than a few dollars." And with that, Emma walked out, head high, spirit intact, dignity untouched. But the story didn't end there. The next day, something happened that no one could have expected. A sleek, black luxury car pulled up in front of Rosie's Diner, polished, clean, out of place. The door opened, and stepping out wasn't the man from yesterday, or so it seemed. The scruffy coat and worn shoes were gone. In their place, a perfectly tailored suit, polished shoes, and a confident smile. His hair was neatly combed, his shoulders back. Mr. Carter stood frozen, jaw slack in disbelief. Because that man? He wasn't homeless at all. He was James Whitmore, the CEO of a massive national restaurant chain, the very one that owned Rosie's Diner. He'd gone undercover to observe, to see how his staff treated people, all people, not just the ones with money in their pockets. And Emma? She had passed that test with flying colors. When they found her at home, still heartbroken over losing her job, James didn't just offer it back. He offered her promotion. And even more, he promised to cover her mother's medical expenses and establish a college scholarship for her little brother. "You didn't just serve coffee," he told her, eyes full of gratitude. "You served humanity." Emma was stunned. Tears welled up in her eyes. She could barely whisper, "Thank you." But James shook his head, smiling. "No, thank you, Emma. You reminded me and the world what real service looks like." The story spread like wildfire. News outlets picked it up. Social media exploded. People everywhere were talking about Rosie's Diner, not because of the food, but because of one small act of kindness. Emma's choice, that one simple cup of coffee, changed everything. Not just for her, but for everyone who heard the story. Because sometimes, it's not the grand gestures that matter most. It's the smallest ones, the quiet moments when we choose to care. And kindness? Oh, it always finds its way back. Speech balloon if you believe humanity still exists. Drop it in the comments. Let's keep the message going. Let's remind the world. Folded hands if this story touched your heart. Hit that subscribe button for more powerful, true stories that restore our faith in people and in compassion. Red heart,